Welcome to World News. Tonight, the political prize. Barack Obama wins a major endorsement from John Edwards. Will it help Obama in his quest for support from white working-class voters? Danger zone, dramatic new video of the earthquake as it struck China. The daring rescues that followed. And new dangers, hundreds of dams weakened by the quake. Allergic reaction. Congress highlights a deadly problem, the growing number of children with serious food allergies. And power couple. Two things you can do starting today to boost your personal finances. It's part of our series, The Power of Two.
From ABC News headquarters, this is World News with Charles Gibson.
Good evening. As we said in the headlines, there has been a major endorsement tonight for Barack Obama. It came just moments ago at an Obama rally in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And Obama began the rally not with his normal campaign pitch, but by saying this.
One of the greatest leaders we have in the Democratic Party. Please give it up for my friend, John Edwards.
Now a friend, formerly a political opponent, John Edwards, one of the last three Democrats in the race. He had flown to Grand Rapids, arriving late this afternoon to make this endorsement timed for maximum advantage. This is a major endorsement sought by both Obama and Hillary Clinton.
The Democratic voters in America have made their choice, and so have I. There is one man who knows and understands that this is a time for bold leadership. There is one man that knows how to create the change, the lasting change that you have to build from the ground up. There is one man who knows in his heart that it is time to create one America, not two, and that man is Barack Obama.
ABC's David Wright is in Grand Rapids with the Obama campaign, and we're also joined by ABC's chief Washington correspondent, George Stephanopoulos. The Hillary Clinton campaign, I suspect, had hoped, thought that the headlines tonight would all be about her huge win yesterday in West Virginia.
They thought that they were going to get some momentum coming out of West Virginia. This just crushes it, Charlie. Just a few minutes ago, before we went on the air, I got an email from a Clinton advisor saying one word: ouch. They had been hoping to change this game a little bit, but this endorsement is huge. He's the biggest endorsement really out there, aside from Al Gore right now. Not only does he appeal to white working class voters, he brings along 20 delegates. He's earned 19 pledged delegates, 1 super delegate. He'll be able to bring them over to Barack Obama. That's as many as Senator Clinton earned last night. We just saw in the speech he gave in Grand Rapids as well the powerful case he can make for Barack Obama. Now, John Edwards has said he's not interested in the vice presidential slot, but that speech he just gave was one powerful audition. And another point, Charlie, both candidates, both Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, courted John Edwards heavily over the last several weeks. He decided tonight that he thinks the race is over. He said the Democratic voters have spoken, and tonight so will I.
David Wright, the perceived weakness for Barack Obama coming out of West Virginia was a real weakness with white voters, particularly, and somewhat economically challenged white voters. That is a group to which John Edwards made his principal appeal. So do they expect this will help him greatly in that area?
Well, I think they're hoping it'll help him. This is a bandage over Obama's Achilles heel, as it seems, in this race. And as you mentioned at the top, this is both a time to upstage the news of Hillary Clinton's massive win in West Virginia, and also time to answer some of the questions raised by that. They're hoping that those white working class voters who are among Edwards' most ardent supporters, that he'll help bring them to the table for Obama.
And George Stephanopoulos, this is kind of the final piece of the puzzle, is it not, for Barack Obama? I mean, so many Democratic leaders have now coalesced around his candidacy.
Every single time he's gotten in trouble, he's pulled out a big endorsement. After Texas and Ohio, which he lost, Bill Richardson came out and endorsed him. You've seen both John Kerry and John Edwards, the Democratic ticket in 2004, endorse Barack Obama. You've seen most of the Kennedy family, led by Ted Kennedy, endorse Barack Obama. The Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, has not formally endorsed Obama, but she's made no secret where her affections lie. You've seen a real closing of the ranks here. The Democratic Party, the leadership of the Democratic Party are saying they're ready for change. They're ready to move on.
All right, George Stephanopoulos and David Wright, thanks very much. And as George mentioned, he gets an email from someone in the Clinton campaign that says simply, ouch. Her campaign was notified of the Edwards endorsement this afternoon, notified that it was in the works. We talked with her earlier in the day, and she maintained her adamance that she is not going to get out of the race. Senator, taking a practical and realistic, objective, maybe even cold-blooded view of this race, can you win it?
Of course I can, and that's because no one has won it yet. There is no nominee. No one has reached the 2,210 number, which is the number of delegates needed to win if you include Michigan and Florida.
You have cited often in campaign appearances, I've heard you talk about your 30-plus years in politics. If you were a pundit commenting objectively on this race, what would you be saying?
I would be saying it's one of the most exciting, closest races that we've ever had, and that the Democrats should be celebrating that there is so much interest and excitement about their candidates. And like everything in life, there is an end point. We're not there yet, but it will be reached. But to ask someone to stop when it's so close seems to defy political history or human nature. Obviously, we're going to have a unified Democratic Party when we have a nominee, but we don't have a nominee yet. And I'm not entertaining any kind of conclusion until everybody has a chance to vote.
A conversation with Hillary Clinton this afternoon before the news came that John Edwards would be endorsing Barack Obama today. Next, to China. And powerful video that we received just today, taken as the quake occurred Monday afternoon and showing the panic it caused. It was shot by an amateur photographer in the city of Chengdu, the largest city in Sichuan province.
We gotta get out of here.
Let's go to the river.
That was the scene on Monday. In China today, the government is still struggling to get aid to the tens of thousands of victims. Many of them live in areas still cut off from the rest of the country. ABC's Neil Karlinski today reached a point about 30 miles from the epicenter.
Southwestern China is buried in misery, and the people who live here are losing patience. This woman says she could hear her husband trapped under the rubble yesterday. Today, nothing. He was still alive, she says, but nobody came to save him. He didn't deserve to die. Sensitive to the growing discontent, the Chinese government has now flooded the region with 100,000 soldiers to help in the recovery effort. It isn't enough. Supplies are being handed out, even airdropped into the hardest hit areas today. But the demand is huge, more than the Chinese can handle. The search for survivors, mostly frustrating and painfully sad, also continues to amaze. Zhang Yan is 8 months pregnant. She was pulled from the rubble after 50 hours trapped inside. She was brought out to cheers, and her mother was rescued too. We found hundreds of injured residents in the city of Shifang sleeping on a basketball court with only a few doctors to treat them. Before we could speak to anyone, officials told us we had to leave. We were driven out of town under police escort. But authorities have bigger problems than good PR. Troops were rushed in to plug cracks in a nearby dam, described by the government as extremely dangerous. And other soldiers finally reached the quake's epicenter after a long, dangerous hike in. What they found were only 2,300 survivors out of a village of 10,000, a village in even worse shape than first thought. That may be the case for the entire region. The death toll is rising and the survivors are increasingly desperate.
Officials here now say as many as 391 dams were damaged by the quake. Just another worry hanging over people here tonight. Charlie?
Neil Karlinski reporting tonight from Chengdu in China. And one of the cities to suffer major damage is Juyuan, where most of the structures, including a high school, were knocked down by the quake. That's the school where almost every student was buried in rubble. And thousands of other residents are buried as well. ABC's Stephanie Tsai got to Juyuan today.
Amid the devastation, which claimed 80% of the buildings in Juyuan, we found Chen Qing kneeling next to her husband's body. He was crushed when their house tumbled down. "I'm blessing his soul," she says, describing the ancient Chinese custom of burning paper money for the deceased.
These structures didn't even stand a chance. They're more than 100 years old and made of clay bricks, not built to withstand an earthquake.
Neither was the city's high school, which buried 900 students when it collapsed. At the scene today, rescuers heard no signs of life.
Now there's no voice from students. Hope it's gone.
16-year-old Wang Fu is one of about 50 students to survive. He was buried for half an hour before a teacher heard his cries and pulled him to safety. "I don't feel pain at all, just numb," he says. "My parents are putting up tents now because our home was also flattened." We then traveled 10 miles down the road to Dujiangyan. This sprawling city of 500,000 people now looks like a refugee camp. Thousands of homeless families living on the streets.
You can really see the destructiveness of this massive earthquake in this city, where at least a dozen of these massive apartment blocks were completely decimated.
We watched this woman wait anxiously as workers pick through the remnants of her apartment building. When they discover her husband dead, she is devastated. They place his body carelessly on the street next to another corpse lying on a slab of cardboard. It's crude work, but with so many more victims to recover, there's little time to treat the dead with dignity. Stephanie Tsai, ABC News, Dujiangyan, China.
Today's news from China. Now to Israel. President Bush is there, continuing his push for a Mideast peace agreement. The president was the guest of honor at a celebration of Israel's 60th anniversary, where he said America and Israel stand for peace. Rockets fired from Gaza today hit a crowded shopping mall in the city of Ashkelon. At least 14 people were wounded. And still ahead on World News, our reporter inside Myanmar and what military rulers there don't want the world to see. Cyclone victims facing terrible misery, and it's our closer look. When going to the cafeteria could put a child's life at risk. Today, a call for schools to deal with severe food allergies. And then simple ways to give yourself more money. Ideas for handling cash and credit. It's our series, The Power of Two.
This is World News with Charles Gibson. Brought to you by Transitions.
In my work, I depend on my eyes to capture the natural wonder of this planet. That's why I wear Transitions lenses. They adjust to changing light and help protect my eyes from UV damage, like sunblock protects my skin.
Ask your eye care professional today about Transitions lenses. To learn more about the harmful effects of UV rays and how you can protect yourself, visit our friends at preventblindness.org.
Decisions. Which Beneful prepared meal tonight? Roasted chicken recipe? Savory rice and lamb stew. You're right. Tonight is a beef stew kind of night.
Beneful prepared meals. Another healthful, flavorful Beneful.
A bad day is when your blood sugar is 30 or 60 when you're ready to go running 5 miles.
The Contour Meter from Bayer. No coding technology means no coding errors.
My meter is a running partner. Completing a marathon, now that's my simple win.
If you have trouble sleeping, Lunesta can give you a great night, 7 to 8 restful hours of sleep. But did you know that a Lunesta night can help give you a great morning? A morning refreshed, recharged. You might even wake so rested, you'll find a way to make the day special.
Class, today we're gonna make some music.
Lunesta helps you fall asleep quickly, so take it right before bed. Be sure you have at least 8 hours to devote to sleep before becoming active. Until you know how you'll react to Lunesta, you should not drive or operate machinery. Do not take Lunesta with alcohol. Call your doctor right away if after taking Lunesta you walk, drive, eat, or engage in other activities while asleep. In rare cases, severe allergic reactions can occur. Most sleep medicines carry some risk of dependency. Side effects may include unpleasant taste, headache, drowsiness, and dizziness.
1, 2.
Why wait another night? Ask Ask your doctor how a Lunesta night's sleep can help you wake this refreshed. Lunesta, a great tomorrow starts tonight.
Nasal allergy symptoms like congestion can occur at any time, and it's hard to avoid the things that cause them. Prescription Nasonex helps relieve nasal allergy symptoms, like congestion. Maybe that's why 6 million nasal allergy sufferers used Nasonex last year.
Side effects were generally mild and included headache, viral infection, sore throat, nosebleeds, and coughing.
For more information, talk to your doctor and ask if Nasonex is the one for you.
We take a closer look tonight at an outrage, a disaster caused by Mother Nature, but being compounded daily by the sins of human beings, the leaders of Myanmar. Today, the government there said the death toll following the cyclone has passed 38,000. The Red Cross said the number could be more than 3 times that because so few survivors are receiving aid. The military rulers continue to severely limit outside help and severely limit the work of reporters as well. But our Joo Hee Cho managed to reach the most affected part of the country, a place the rulers of Myanmar do not want you to see.
They have lost everything, loved ones, houses, animals, even their shoes. We spent a week traveling through the Irrawaddy Delta, ruined houses, dead bodies, and mud everywhere, a human nightmare that the military junta does not want the rest of the world to see. As we headed south, we were nervous. Journalists are banned from the cyclone-hit area.
We've been driving on this unpaved road for 6.5 hours so far, and we're told it's going to be a couple more hours. Military checkpoints here and there, but we've been lucky so far.
We bluffed our way through, saying we were tourists. Sometimes the villagers told us it was too dangerous to stop.
These refugees across the river, I spotted them, but the locals here tells me I cannot go over there to talk to them because the government strictly prohibits foreigners trying to talk to these refugees.
And when we reached the worst-hit areas, the dead bodies. We smelled them first, and we put on masks. Many of them were children, more than we could count. I will never forget this boy whose parents tied a rubber float around him when the waters rose. He survived. They drowned. I worry what will happen to him. There are no orphanages in Myanmar. The survivors we met walked around in a daze, picking through the debris of their ruined houses. Their main complaint, no clean water to drink, and they were hungry with nobody helping. We reached the biggest refugee camp in Labuta 10 hours from Yangon. The first rice ration was arriving 9 days after the cyclone hit. These people need everything, but so far they have received almost nothing. Joo Hee Cho, ABC News, the Irrawaddy Delta, Myanmar.
A catastrophe that has occurred and a greater tragedy perhaps in the making if the government does not relent and aid does not get to those who are suffering. Coming up, food for thought, a new call to help children with life-threatening allergies.
Tired of another sleepless night? For help falling asleep and staying asleep, there's 2-layer Ambien CR. The first layer helps you fall asleep fast, but unlike other sleep aids, there's a second layer that helps you stay asleep. Until you know how Ambien CR will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Be sure you're able to devote 7 to 8 hours to sleep before being active again. Sleepwalking and eating or driving while not fully awake with amnesia for the event have been reported. In rare cases, sleep aids may cause severe allergic reactions, such as swelling of your tongue or throat or shortness of breath. If you experience any of these behaviors or reactions, contact your doctor immediately. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. It's non-narcotic and can be taken for as long as your prescriber recommends. However, like most sleep aids, it has some risk of dependency. Don't take it with alcohol. Ask your prescriber about Ambien CR for a good night's sleep from start to finish.
There were days my muscles were so sore from my fibromyalgia pain, I ached all over. It was hard just doing the little things that I loved. Then my doctor told me about prescription Lyrica. It's not an antidepressant. It's the first and only FDA-approved treatment that can help relieve my fibromyalgia pain. Lyrica helps me accomplish my daily activities and helps me feel better. So now I can start to think of something other than my pain. Lyrica's not for everyone. Tell your doctor right away about any serious allergic reaction that causes swelling or affects breathing or skin or changes in eyesight, including blurry vision or muscle pain with fever or tired feeling. Some of the most common side effects of Lyrica are dizziness, sleepiness, weight gain, and swelling of hands and feet. Do not drink alcohol while taking Lyrica. You should not drive or operate machinery until you know how Lyrica affects you. If you have fibromyalgia, ask your doctor if Lyrica's right for you.
Want to know a secret? Some grown-ups don't eat all their vegetables. Some adults don't start their day with breakfast. And there are even some otherwise intelligent people who don't always eat right. For all of you, there's Ensure, complete balanced nutrition shakes loaded with food, energy, and 24 vitamins and minerals. So even if you don't always eat right, you can still eat smart. Drink Ensure in 5 irresistible flavors. It's nutrition for a healthier you.
Tomorrow, take an unprecedented trip with us to the northernmost tip of the world. See what effect the melting ice is having on the beloved animals that live there, and what impact this could have on the rest of the world. Tomorrow on World News with Charles Gibson.
The federal government today listed polar bears as a threatened species because Arctic sea ice is melting away due to global warming. But the administration argues the Endangered Species Act is not meant to combat global warming and that the listing does not require them to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Environmental groups say they'll use the bear's new status to fight for tougher emission standards in court. In Washington today, a call to help millions of children who face danger every time they go to their school cafeteria because they have food allergies that can sometimes be deadly. 3 million children in this country have food allergies. The question in Congress today, how can schools protect them? Here's ABC's Lisa Stark.
For children with severe food allergies, a school cafeteria can be a frightening, even deadly place. 7-year-old Ryan Birchfield's school lunch is carefully choreographed to ensure his food doesn't touch milk, eggs, peanuts, anything that might be dangerous for him.
He opens it up and sets his own placemat in case the table's not clean, puts his food on that, and that's how he eats.
Today, Senator Christopher Dodd was pushing for federal money to help set up safeguards in schools. The Dodd's 6-year-old daughter is severely allergic.
We can try to keep him safe at home, but once, as a parent, you send him out the door, you need to try to set an environment that can also be safe at the schools, and that's what his legislation is designed to do.
Today in the Rialto School District in Southern California, information on every student is called up on a computer to ensure those with allergies aren't eating something they shouldn't.
We know that we have kids in our district who have allergies, and that if we are not very astute on top of those types of things, that we could have a sick kid on our hands, and none of us wants that.
And with food allergies among children on the rise, it's a problem many believe all schools must take more seriously. Lisa Stark, ABC News, Washington.
And up next, 2 simple financial ideas that could make a big difference in your life. Part of our series, The Power of Two.
Oil and natural gas powered the past, but the future. Fact is, a growing world will require more, 45% more by 2030, along with greatly expanding alternatives. We have substantial oil and natural gas resources right here, enough to power 60 million cars and heat 160 million households for 60 years. With advanced technology and smart policies, together we can secure America's energy future. Log on to learn more.
Take a good look around, and if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart.
Smart Balance Buttery Spread. Enjoy its award-winning buttery taste and support healthy cholesterol.
Put a little love in your heart.
Introducing Smart Balance Butter Blend Stick with omega-3s. 50% butter, 50% Smart Balance. Great taste with 28% less saturated fat than regular butter.
When you're used to always doing something with a cigarette, it can be hard doing it without one. But if you can relearn how to start your day without cigarettes, then you can relearn to do anything without cigarettes. Introducing X, a new way to think about quitting.
How
healthful life from Purina Catch-Out. With real chicken, wholesome greens, delicious salmon, and a touch of cranberry and cheese. Finally, it's all come together. Healthful life from Purina Catch-Out. Yes, healthy can be delicious.
Imagine a place of healing, where the pain that comes along with how we live just goes away. And what if you could go there tonight and every night? Welcome to Tempur-Pedic. It's more than just a bed. It's therapy with the promise of a truly healing sleep. We invite you to learn more about our science and experience our soul. Welcome to Tempur-Pedic. Welcome to bed.
What's in here is what's in here. Real strawberries, fresh cream. Breyers All Natural. Extraordinary taste.
Coming up at 6, a live one-on-one interview with Portland mayoral candidate Joe DeZono. His response to K2's exclusive poll putting him far behind Sam Adams, and how you can make your car virtually bulletproof from a certain kind of metal theft that's become a local epidemic. At 6.
Finally tonight, making the most of your money. All this week in our series, The Power of Two, we're seeing how two simple ideas can make a difference in everything from your health to the environment to your personal finances. ABC's Betsy Stark has 2 steps that could change your bank account.
Every month, you write a check to pay your landlord, your electric bill, your phone bill, maybe the car company. But the first check you should be writing is to yourself. So number 1, pay yourself first.
I'm such a believer in paying yourself first, in making sure that you've got money that's going into your bank account before it's going to anything else.
Texas working mom Roxanne Netherland rarely puts herself first, and as a result, she's among the 22% of Americans who have no savings.
It's always something else that comes up, and we'll eventually get there.
If 40-year-old Roxanne had started putting aside just $25 a week when she was 25 years old, today she'd have a nest egg of more than $28,000 instead of no nest egg at all. And to make sure you get started now, use some money from the government's rebate program to write the first check to yourself.
I mean, I do need to be a little bit more selfish, and that's my problem.
29-year-old Alex Steele had a different problem, one shared by millions of Americans.
On my debt,
a mountain of credit card debt.
I got into this mindset of I can just swipe and it's all good and no worries. And then eventually it racks up and then you're 10 grand in debt and you're like, oh my God, where did this come from?
Which brings us to number 2. Pay in cash, not credit. You can stay out of credit card debt and you'll probably spend less. Alex has been on a strict cash diet for almost 3 years now and will soon be debt-free.
It's a practical way of making sure that you actually do spend within your means.
And it's a way of avoiding costly interest. Buy $100 worth of groceries with your credit card, and studies show those groceries could end up costing you as much as $212 if all you make is the minimum payment. An expensive habit that Alex has now kicked.
I'm free. It's just me. It's just me and my money.
Betsy Stark, ABC News, New York.
2 practical ideas. And right after this broadcast, the money experts in Betsy's story will be available to answer your questions. You can find them live at our website, abcnews.com. And that is World News for this Wednesday. I'm Charlie Gibson, and I hope you had a good day. For all of us at ABC News, have a good night.
Tonight, we found a high-flying, red-blooded American family and threw a wrench in their gears.
You're going to be vegetarians.
You got it. That should work.
Hey, boys, I'm eating your brother.
All new Wife Swap tonight, 8/7 Central on ABC.
The sea lion's mystery solved. We find out what apparently killed the animals at the Bonneville Dam.
Where is congressional candidate Mike Erickson, and why won't he come forward to talk about allegations that he paid a woman to abort his baby?
High gas prices got you down. Coming up, we find consumers like you to find out what they're doing to scrimp and save.
Live at 6, this is K2 News, on your side.
And good evening. Thank you very much for being with us, everybody. Our top story, 2 men shot to death at a Northeast Portland home overnight, one of them by police.
With tonight's top story, K2's Bob High is live at the home with more on what led police to open fire. Bob?
And Deb, you can still see the holes in the window where the tear gas canisters went through that home's windows last night. It all started with a call from a witness last night who said she'd seen a murder, a killing that eventually led to the deadly confrontation with officers here. Wearing respirators and protective clothing, investigators pull evidence, including this rifle, from inside the home at the